I'm Davy, and I'm awesome, and welcome to Davy's Awesome Movies, where I review the styles of movies that I love, the alternative, B-rated, cult-style flicks. And this week, it's a forgotten, and in my opinion, underrated comedy. This movie was made in 1992, and was directed and written by Tom Eberhardt, and also written by John Dwyer, and produced by David Permut, made by Touchstone Pictures, and Touchwood Pacific Pictures 1, and distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Ron! The movie opens with a Martin Harvey, played by Martin Short, who seems to be having just a run-of-the-mill, average annoying on his way to work day. That is until he gets to work and gets a package.
Going down!
Must be good. And he rushes home to his wife, Catherine,
I have a couple of pieces of really big news.
played by Mary Kay Place. Catherine and Martin go upstairs into the attic to talk, and their son Benjamin gets home from school. Played by Benjamin Salisbury, whom most of you will remember as Brighton from The Nanny. Upstairs in the attic, Martin is telling Catherine how his uncle, who had sailed away and basically had disappeared from the face of the earth, has sadly turned up dead. But he left him his old boat.
She's worth over $250,000.
$250,000? That's a lot of McDoubles. The problem is, though, is at the moment, the boat itself is on an island called Saint Pomme de Terre.
That means potato.
Saint Potato, to be exact. Or potato, if you're one of those morons who says that. But, more importantly, they have to get it from Saint Potato to Miami so they can sell it. Martin wants to go down there, hire a boat captain, and all of them sail it to Miami themselves. Catherine, though, doesn't want to put their lives on hold. She just wants to hire somebody to move the boat for them. While they're discussing this...
Guess what? We're getting a boat, man!
As a parent, I completely relate to that.
Did you do this?
Do what, Mom?
That too. Catherine is still not convinced that they should go. This would be like a 30 to 40 day trip that they just really can't do right now. She has a job, Martin has a job, the kids have school. But then their 16-year-old daughter, Caroline, gets home and announces to them that she's engaged.
Yo, Mom, Dad.
So they head to Saint Potato. And they get there and they see the boat.
Isn't she a classic?
It's an old boat.
It just needs a little work. It's great.
Does that make you feel better? While the siblings are on the dock arguing, Caroline pushes Ben into the water.
Daddy's coming.
Here, Ben!
You know, maybe before you head out, you should pick up a new one of those. So Martin calls him Mr. Donaldson, the guy who's going to be buying the boat from them in Miami, and asks what the boat would be worth in its current condition. He tells them just get the boat to Miami and they'll have a look-see. He also changes his mind on the boat captain he was going to provide for them.
Just find him somebody local.
A local? In Saint Pomme de Terre?
Mr. Donaldson is played by Paul Anka. Yes, the singer. Then we meet the local boat captain in Saint Potato. That's Captain Ron, played by Kurt Russell. He starts to meet everybody.
Hey, are you the captain?
Yeah, Ron Rico.
Ron Rico? Isn't that a brand of rum? Ben, being a kid who has no tact, asks what happened to his eye.
Shark attack, Swap.
He tells him the attack came in Australia when he hit the Great Barrier Reef. You know that huge reef that's very famous and everybody knows about? So after the story, their confidence is starting to wane a little bit already. Captain Ron also is calling Ben Swap and tells him that if he does his job good and helps out around the boat, he'll promote him from swap to mate. A little incentive, because he knows that incentives are a good thing.
Learned that in rehab.
Well, I'm sold on this, Captain. They're all ready to head out, but first, Captain Ron has to return his buddy's car. But he can't find it.
You know, on second thought, what the hell? We gotta get started sometime, right?
All the mannerisms and the wardrobe of Captain Ron were all Kurt Russell. The clothes he grabbed out of his own closet, and the mannerisms he just started doing, and the director was like, I love it, let's go with it. Then again, Kurt Russell does that a lot. Like in Death Proof, according to Quentin Tarantino, the whole over-the-top crying like a sissy was all Kurt Russell, but Tarantino loved it. As they're leaving, though, Ron's buddy he got the car from shows up.
Stole my wife! But you're not stealing!
Apparently they're good friends. So now they're heading to another island to get some supplies, an island called St. Hog. It's an island that's made up just like Sam Pomme de Terre. Potato. Captain Ron goes downstairs to take a nap, but once they arrive at St. Hog, they need him.
I think he's dead. What?
So early in the movie? So Catherine goes downstairs to check on him.
I didn't do it, I swear! What?
He's fine. He just puts the patch on the other eye when he's sleeping.
What about your other eye?
Glass swab.
Dude, cool.
They dock and go off exploring.
I am engaged. But it's kind of informal.
Wait a second, are you telling me a 16-year-old doesn't take being engaged seriously? That night, the parents decide to go downstairs and get a little frisky. While Caroline goes out and Captain Ron and Ben play Monopoly. But while they're getting ready, Ben moves Captain Ron's beer.
You want a beer, you get your own beer.
Kurt Russell was very opposed to using that line as it encourages a youngster to drink alcohol, but they all convinced him that this is definitely something Captain Ron would say. As far as the parents, they're in the tiny little boat shower.
Lucy, I'm home!
Hello. Suddenly got crap.
If that's not bad enough.
Hello?
Also, I've got to say, I've never been a big fan of, doing it in the shower. I mean, sure, it's sexy and all, you're naked and soaping up and everything, but it's hard to get all that into it when you're worried that any minute you're going to slip and break your neck. Oh, and to make matters worse.
What? What'd you do? Did you drop it?
Worth it? Captain Ron is noticing something, though.
We're gonna run out of water, hang on.
Yeah, because it turns out when you're on a boat, you don't have an unlimited supply of fresh water. Luckily for Catherine and Martin, Captain Ron comes down and removes the mop handle.
Here, boss, I'll just take this.
When Captain Ron goes back up, of course Ben is wondering what happened.
Nothing. Playing hide the salami in the shower.
You know, as a kid, that part made me laugh, but it didn't shock me at all. My dad used to say way worse than that about my mom all the time. A day later, Caroline, the 16-year-old teenager, has apparently been complaining a lot. Shock. She wants to go to an island that people have actually heard of before. And Captain Ron asks if she knows about the famous island St. Croix. Of course, that's a real island. And he tells her that they're going to an island near it. What's that island?
Ted's!
Ted's.
I wonder if that's by Bill's. That would be excellent! But when they get to Ted's...
The man took us to the wrong freaking island.
Martin.
Hey, you'd watch your language if you knew what was good for you, buddy. Instead of having lunch, Martin wants to go hiking in the woods. But nobody really wants to go with him. So he goes off by himself and kind of pouts.
Hey, if you're going back, stay on the path! You know, there's gorillas in these woods.
But Martin says there's no possible way there are gorillas in that woods. This is an island in the Caribbean. Gorillas are located in Africa. So he heads off and ignores his advice. So of course he encounters some gorillas. Turns out Captain Ron wasn't talking about gorillas. He was talking about bang 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 gorillas. But thankfully, Captain Ron did talk the gorillas into letting him go. But now Martin has another issue.
No, this.
245s and a Mac 10.
Ooh. But Martin's not happy about that. I would be. Apparently Captain Ron made a trade with the gorillas for those guns, just in case they encounter some of the pirates of the Caribbean.
Been to Disney World one too many times, have we, Captain Ron?
Dude, you know pirates are a real thing, right?
There are no pirates of the Caribbean.
Fine, right, sure. Okay, there are no pirates in the Caribbean, just like there are no cats in America. God if only. They remind him, though, that he was wrong about the gorillas.
He said gorilla, not gorilla. Go.
Oh, tomato, tomato. Martin throws those guns overboard and then decides to ask Captain Ron what did he trade them for those guns anyway. Turns out Captain Ron merely traded them a ride into San Juan. which they are headed to. But Martin, of course, is saying, no way. They are not giving guerrillas a ride into San Juan.
I'll just give them the guns back and the whole thing will be off.
Well, how do you feel about giving them a ride now, Martin? Yeah, maybe you should learn to ask before doing something rash. So now, it's smooth sailing all the way to San Juan. Except, of course.
You have not been kidnapped. Captain Ron is a jerk. He gets lost.
Yeah, Captain Ron got lost again. But at least that night...
Hey, who's rocking the boat down there?
Hey, if that boat is a-rockin', they're doing it! So the next day, they head to San Juan.
It's just a little squall! They come on you fast!
Okay. The Grand Canyon's just a little ditch. And hell is just a sauna. But Captain Ron says don't worry, he knows for sure they must be near land. Why? Because when they left, they had just enough fuel to get to San Juan, and now they're out of fuel. Martin's a little stressed, but just then, they all see land.
Captain Ron is proving to be more cunning than originally suspected.
They get to San Juan, and there's a carnival going on.
Hey, where are the kids?
The kids wonder the same thing.
Hey! Where's Mom and Dad?
While looking, the parents end up in jail.
I don't think it was smart to mention that we brought revolutionaries onto the island.
Yeah, probably not. Someone from the U.S. State Department comes up and gives them good news. They are not being charged with anything. However, they are being kicked off the island.
When?
Now.
But first they have to round up the kids.
What happened in the music? Uh-oh.
You know, if you were in the States, you'd probably have your kids taken away from you.
It's fake. It washes off.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, okay, the tattoo's fake, but that beer isn't. Turns out Ben and Captain Ron were playing Monopoly for money with a woman named Angelique.
You're fired.
You know, in this movie, they kind of paint Martin as the bad guy for doing that, but I would have done that a long time ago. Ben tells his parents, though, they should really be worried about a man named Roscoe, Angelique's boyfriend. They know who he's talking about. They saw him as they were coming in.
And you'll be seeing him again, man, if I don't get paid $500.
Monopoly.
Tell Roscoe you're not getting jack.
That's not a good idea.
Oh, man.
So one thing we've learned in this movie is that Martin is really not good at assessing his surroundings. The next day, they see Roscoe again.
The Pirates of the Caribbean!
Hey, Martin. Tired of being wrong yet?
So, think we'll ever see our boat again?
You know, if this was real life, they probably would have just killed you instead of putting you on that life raft, so consider yourself lucky. As they drift, some time passes.
Hey, guys, hurry, wake up!
What?
Wow! You guys just might live. But once they get out...
Back to the raft! Back to the raft!
What?
Go!
Why so panicked?
Cuba. We're in Cuba?
Oh! Never mind about the living thing. Now I know some of you are like, hey, Cuba ain't all that bad. It was in 92.
Dad!
Then noticed that their boat is there. And they all want to get their boat back.
Bloodthirsty, heavily armed pirates against the Harvey family.
But then...
All right, get in!
Well, the real question here is, did he know the Harveys would be there? Or did he get lost again?
We don't need you to rescue us!
Dude, just get in the car! Captain Ron drives around to get rid of the pirates, and then drops Martin off to go get the boat started while he loses the pirates some more and will come back.
We'll be right back!
Why didn't you let the rest of the family out, dummy? When they get back, Martin wasn't able to get the engine started, so Captain Ron goes down to help. Finally, the engine starts, but at this point, the pirates are trying to get on the boat, so it's up to Captain Ron!
Sorry, boss. Fell. I think I broke my leg.
Maybe not! So it's up to Martin Harvey. They're evading them, but just as they're about to get out of Cuban waters, the engine blows. Captain Ron is stressing that the pirates are on their way. And when they get there, it's going to be bad. He's crossed them before.
It can get to be a little messy, you know what I mean?
So Martin gets into action.
We're gonna get the sails up.
Dad, we
You
don't
want to save this boat or not?
Yeah, Martin, you get to it. You do it. And wait a second. Was Captain Ron lying about losing his eye in that shark attack? Captain Ron is cheering them on.
Naturals! By God, every one of you is naturals!
But how does he really feel?
We're gonna die.
He also tries to get help.
Mayday! Mayday! Mayday!
Hey! His leg's not broken! As they get the sails going, they notice the pirates again! Albondiga? Doesn't that mean meatball? Yes it does. I love Albondiga soup.
Have had enough of you!
A flare gun? Well, I will say, it distracts them long enough for...
That's the U.S. Coast Guard!
They're saved! So Martin goes downstairs to check on Captain Ron.
All right, Coast Guard, kick ass!
The Coast Guard gets on the radio and wants to speak to the captain.
That's you, boss.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. They drop off Captain Ron in the United States, somewhere he hasn't been to in 7 years.
Something about the statute of limitations. I didn't ask questions.
It's probably a good idea. They reach Miami, and Catherine tells them they can do one of two things.
Sell the boat, go back to Chicago, get back in our old routine. Or don't.
So they think about it.
Okay, coming about.
Good
God!
Really? You're gonna keep the boat?
Where you going?
He doesn't know where he's going.
What if we get lost? We'll just pull in somewheres and ask directions.
As wonderful and adventurous as this seems, in the real world, eventually you're gonna need some money, which is why you're gonna need your jobs. Not to mention, there's probably gonna be more pirates out there, dude. Like, there's not just one little set of pirates. As far as Captain Ron goes...
Alright, Dad, looks like the flyers are kicking tires, huh?
He's still Captain Ron. So there you have it. That's Captain Ron. An underrated comedy from '92. This movie didn't do well, but I wouldn't say it tanked. It had a $24 million budget, and in the box office, it did $22.5 million. So again, that's not good. It didn't make a profit, but it didn't exactly lose like $10 million either. Not to mention, with its cult status later, I'm sure it made that $1.5 million back eventually. The biggest thing that people criticize this movie for, though, was the role reversal. Martin Short playing the straight man, while Kurt Russell played the comedic role. And as a matter of fact, when this movie was first casted, Martin Short was supposed to play Captain Ron, and Kurt Russell was supposed to play Martin Harvey. But apparently one night the two went out, got drunk, and decided to switch roles. But you know what? I think that worked out, because Captain Ron was supposed to be kind of like a tough man's man, and... Sorry, as much as I love Martin Short, and I do, I don't buy that. Although I'm sure he could have been funny in that way, but Kurt Russell, maybe he's not a comedian per se, but he did fantastic in this comedic role. And he's done great in other comedic roles. Funny enough, though, originally the role of Martin Harvey was written for Chevy Chase, but scheduling conflicts made it to where they had to get somebody else. So before they landed on Martin Short, they considered other people for the role, like Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, John Ritter, John Candy, and even Richard Dreyfuss. Honestly, probably all would have been great, but I think Martin Short did very well. Not only that, but the original title of this movie was supposed to be Martin Harvey Takes a Cruise. I like Captain Ron better. Another little factoid though, apparently it also took 3 different boats to film this movie. However, despite people's criticisms aside, like I said, I think Kurt Russell did fantastic in the comedic role, and Martin Short is just one of those great comedians where he can be funny playing the straight man or the comic relief. It doesn't matter. He's amazing. If it's comedy, then he can do it. This was a very well put together movie in my opinion. It was really funny. I remember seeing it in theaters with my mother and my brother, and we all 3 just laughed and laughed and laughed because it was great. And as soon as it came on VHS, we had a copy because we loved it. We watched it together as a family. My dad especially loved the hide the salami part. Like I said, it didn't shock me. So, this is not one of those movies I recommend for people who love bad movies. This is one of those movies I recommend for people who love good comedic movies and love to find those ones that did kind of slip through the cracks a little bit. Didn't get the play it deserved, didn't get the love it deserved. It has a cult following, but it could always get a bigger cult following. So, based on that alone, I do highly recommend, if you have not seen Captain Ron, that you rush out, find Captain Ron, and enjoy it. So there you have it. That's my movie review this week. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoy Captain Ron. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. If you have seen Captain Ron, tell me what you thought of Captain Ron. If you haven't seen Captain Ron, tell me you're going to watch Captain Ron. If you have watched Captain Ron and you don't like it, love you guys.